Hello everyone and welcome to the Lunchalot Gaming channel. I'm your host Lunchalot and today we have another episode of our awesome Ark mod series. I've got three mods that I'm looking at today. The first one, however, is an overhaul mod, much like Primal Fear, which I stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays if you fancy popping along on Twitch. Just see how I link that there. Yeah, shameless self-promotion. As a result of it being an overhaul mod, there is a vast amount of information involved in it, and I haven't even tried to put all of the information in the video. What I'm trying to do is just give a taster, and I've put links to the Steam pages of all the mods I've looked at down below in the description, so if you need more information you can go look there. And I have tried to make sure that whatever information I've put in the video is accurate. If there's any weird cuts or strange jumps or anything like that, it's almost certainly because I was hopping onto the Discord or the Steam page in order to just check for something. Let's do a question of the day. So what is your favorite mod available in the workshop at the moment and why? And just pop that in the comments down below. So I hope you enjoy this video. If you do enjoy it, like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and come hang out with me on Twitch on Tuesdays, Thursdays or Saturdays, and we will chat mods and have fun. Okay, so this first mod I'm going to cover is the Ark Reclamation mod by Amalgamaniac, and my god is it huge. So as I said in the intro, I'm almost certainly not going to be able to cover every single detail, but we'll take a look at some of the cool creatures that are in here. And the dev has a list, a roadmap as long as your arm, basically, of all the other things he wants to include, so I'm actually quite excited about this. The first creatures that I wanted to look at were these ones here. They're called slags, and they come in different varieties. They're Actina variants, and so you've got stone slag, metal slag, obsidian slag, element slag, and then you've got sand slag on the scorched map, ore slag on the aberration map, you've got corrupted slag from the extinction map, and you've got lunar slag from the Genesis map. Now these produce different things, so I don't have them set on Wonder at the moment, so they're just producing their basic resources. But if you see, like Actina, they drop stone, this one dropped metal, which I just picked up there, this one drops obsidian, if I can get my hands on it. You know what, let's just pick you up and throw you. So that one drops obsidian, this one drops element, this one drops sand. Now this ore slag is pretty cool, drops ore. There we go. And the lunar slag will provide tasty ambergris. So they produce different things when you set them on Wonder as well. So I mean, the dev has a Discord where you can go look up at that information, but just a couple of highlights. So the corrupted slag, where's it gone? That's not it. So the corrupted slag, when not on Wonder, will drop corrupt chunks, and if you put it on Wonder, it'll drop corrupted hearts, corrupted nodules. This lunar slag drops ambergris and shell fragments on Wonder, and they all drop various different things. It's pretty funky. So they're pretty cool. They're passive tames, which you need tasty vegetable cakes to tame. Once you tame them, they do continue eating veggie cakes. They are breedable as well, so you can, you know, target your resources appropriately and breed up exactly what you need. So onwards with the next creature. This next creature is called Pijak, and he's adorable, very much like a Jerboa. Let me just not pick up his poop, I wanted to throw him down. So if I throw him down in the light and just get close so you can see. Like, I'm loving this kind of mother of pearl look he's got to him, especially around the ears. I think it's absolutely adorable. They're basically ice Jerboa, so they've got double the stats of normal Jerboa, and they are actually worthwhile in combat because they do a freezing attack, and if they get hit by other Pijaks, they actually heal up. So actually breeding an army of these and using them for battle isn't completely out of the question. And you know, they're absolutely adorable, and they kind of glow in the sunlight a bit. All of these slags as well produce a certain amount of light, which I think is quite nice. I'm really loving the way they've done the creatures on here. Actually, they are beautiful. So this next creature is called a Luxpred. It drops Luxpred Toxin. they're flying jellyfish. They float around the place and they are highly aggressive. They're also passive tame, so enjoy taming them. And you tame them using the Luxpred toxin that they drop. So, I mean, following them around, collecting their poop and very carefully feeding it to them is probably the only way I can really think of doing it, unless you've already got a bunch of them, which is fun. But they pack quite a wallop, and you can use this Luxpred toxin as biotoxin as well, which is pretty cool. So on to the next creature. Let's check out the Ditetracerus. Okay, this is a Ditetracerus. They have either 2 or 4 horns depending on their gender, and they're basically an amalgamation of the trike and the shield horn from Atlas. And the dev does have plans to introduce more Atlas creatures, which I think will make for some awesome combinations. They actually eat Luxpred toxin, and that is the best food to tame them with. They can be passive or KO tamed, which is pretty cool. And if I take you out here, so they've got the standard attack, so you've got your standard trike horn bash. You can hold right click to get a charge, and they also, on Alt C, produce a poison gas cloud, and that poison gas cloud will increase the creature's torpor and also slow its movement down, which I think is pretty handy, which makes these actually pretty good for taming. So yeah, they are pretty awesome. They are completely breedable, and you can breed up more of them as you go. Also, if you can get 5 Luxpred toxin into its inventory without actually eating it, it will produce something called a gland grenade, and I don't know what that is or what it does, but it sounds very funky. And also you can level up torpidity on it, which is pretty unusual. Or should be able to, but it does the trike's happy dance at any rate. Okay, so on to the next set of creatures. This is an Ember Steed. It's a Equus variant, a fiery Equus variant. It does all your normal Equus stuff. Yeah, I'm on a horse. But it also has the additional ability that if you put metal in its inventory, it will smelt into metal ingots, which is pretty cool. They also drop this Ember Ash, which is basically a spark powder. So you can use this in place of spark powder wherever you would need spark powder. And these are another 2 variants of it, called the Emberhorn and the Mystic Emberhorn. So I'll just quickly cover the way you get these. So occasionally the Ember Steed over here will drop something called Barren Ash. If you take that Barren Ash and put it in a rear, it will then become Fertilized Ash, and you can use that to breed up an Emberhorn. And Emberhorns are basically improved versions of the Ember Steed. Let me just change the time of day. So they're improved versions of the Ember Steed, and what they can do, if you hold down jump, they get a super long high velocity jump, which is pretty awesome. And they also gather berries like a normal Equus. Ooh, they also take wood and make charcoal, apparently, which is very cool. So essentially they act as a very fast refining forge, and I think they refine a lot faster than the Ember Steed does. Right, now occasionally these Emberhorns will drop out a Mystic Barren Ash, which again, if you put in a rear, will lead to a fertilized egg, and then you get a Mystic Emberhorn, which is one of these, which is really cool. So I'll just take you out and show you, if I don't get stuck in the Ditetracerus tail. So, like the Emberhorn, these guys have an increased velocity and range jump, which, I mean, I love jumping around on horses in Ark, so this is actually quite a lot of fun. They also don't take falling damage at all, so there's no need to worry about that. Ember horns, by the way, are not ember horns, sorry. Ember steeds, by the way, are also tamed like an equus. So you hop on its back, you ride it, you feed it, and just hope it doesn't run into anything nasty. Okay, so that brings us on to another creature. What have we got? Okay, this is a Lutricampus, and by the way, I had a great deal of fun sitting down with my Latin dictionary and working out what all of these various names mean and where they derive from, and I won't ruin the fun for you, but if you fancy doing it, it's actually pretty cool. So this is an otter variant. It's half otter, half sea monster, and it is absolutely adorable. For a start, is also really a very useful underwater companion. So they produce these things. Hasn't produced one yet, but I've got one in my inventory. I'll show you. Sea bubbles. Now these will refresh your water and your oxygen. Now my oxygen stat obviously isn't going down, but if I just consume that there, see my water's gone straight back up again, which is really cool. You can wear them like shoulder pads. Let's just get into K mode. Yeah, and they look absolutely adorable. They're also completely immune to jellyfish and luck spread, which is actually very useful for biotoxin farming, and it takes reduced damage when its health is low, which is nice, and it does have boosted attack stats compared to otters, so they're actually not completely incompetent combatants, which is really nice. Right, onto the big ticket item, I guess. So these are rare. This is a standard rare, and you get variants depending on your map. So this is a Scorched rare, which I absolutely love the look of, because why wouldn't you want a griffin on fire? This is an Aberration rare, and I'm not too sure how the flying works in Aberration, whether you can fly them or not. Obviously I'm just testing these on Ragnarok, but yeah, that'll be interesting. And this one is a Corrupted rare, so this is the Extinction variant, and I'm loving the glowing lights. But my favourite is probably the Lunar reel, because of these ethereal feather things it's got going on that look half real. They're very cool. So yeah, I'll take you out on the Lunar rare just to show you. So I'm loving those graphics on the wings, and they do fly just like an absolutely normal griffin. So you've got swoops, and that's a giga. That might be a problem. Yeah, it's pretty far away. Right, one of the really cool things about these guys, firstly they drop these things spoiled rear eggs, and what these do, they reduce the amount of food you have. So if I eat one now, you see my food's gone absolutely right down, and let me just infinite stats my food back up, and it will do that on wild dinos as well. So it's kind of like a tame helper from other mods, in that it will reduce their food and then they'll eat a lot quicker, so you'll tame them a lot faster, which is pretty awesome. They also have a really cool ability, so I'll show you on this one here because I was testing it out early. So I've got here some unfertilized giga eggs, and if I pop that into its inventory and just wait a few seconds, waiting, just waiting, it'll become a fertilized giga egg. So they will fertilize unfertilized eggs that you put in their inventory, which is really awesome, and a mechanic I haven't actually seen on anything else, so it is quite unique, I think. Of course I could be wrong, so let me know if I am down in the comments. So yeah, those are just the creatures. There's a lot planned for this mod. It's got a huge development roadmap. I mean, one of the really standout things about this mod for me is the time and effort that's been put into the actual creature animations, the graphic design, and they do look absolutely amazing. Like, this Scorched rare is gorgeous. It's like a kind of hybrid of a phoenix and a griffin, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, I think it's awesome, worth a look and checking out. So if you fancy doing so, I've linked the Steam page down below, and the dev also has a Discord if you fancy joining and you've got any questions that you need to ask or anything like that. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this one, and onwards to the next mod. Okay, so the next mod I wanted to talk about today is the Hunted mod by Olympia. Now, I think this mod is really cool and quite different because there's essentially two ways of making your game more of a challenge. You can add in more creatures with more stats, higher stats, crazy over the top stuff, or you can take the approach that the Hunted has done and make your survival experience a lot harder. So if I just show you, because some of the changes are quite apparent. So yeah, if you open up your inventory, you'll notice one of the first things that has changed is that your health, stamina, oxygen, food, all your stats apart from movement speed have been halved. So ordinarily these would start at like 100 each, and now they start at 50. So you are significantly weaker. They've also tweaked the stamina regeneration rates and the health regeneration rates, which means that you will be regenerating health a lot slower. The idea was to take out some of the superhuman feats that survivors could perform. The main changes that this mod has made, however, is in the dino's behaviour. So if I just fly around until we find something I can demonstrate on. So now you no longer tame dinos by knocking them out with trank arrows and sticking berries up their butt until they become your friends. You have to tame dinos by acquiring these eggs, and any babies you raise from them will start at level 1, but they do have boosted experience rates that are now comparable to yours. So all dinos now also have behavioural changes depending on what type of dino they are. So for example, these stegos are usually passive, you can run right up to them, it's not a problem, but if I get too close, instantly goes on the aggressive and will run off a cliff. Dinos will also fight other dinos for territory and resources. So these stegos are fighting these trikes down here. That's just because they've got too close and they're in their territory, so they no longer work together. Come on. Aggro. There we go. Come off the cliff. Okay, so that's going on down there, and if we just come over here, you can see that these eggs are here. So these are parasaur eggs, and you can pick up a few from each nest, which I think is pretty cool. And there we go, 2 fertilized trike eggs, and then you can use those to raise up babies, but it is quite an adventure stealing them because the parents do look out for them. They've also changed the behaviors of carnivores, so carnivores no longer work together in packs unless they're certain types of carnivores, and they definitely don't team up with other species of carnivores. So you no longer get things like for example raptors and terror birds hunting together and that kind of thing. Instead what you get is packs of carnivores or lone carnivores fighting for territory and getting aggressive on each other, which actually does help you out a little bit. But the idea was to make it a more gritty, realistic survival experience, and I think they've done quite well at that. So those parasaurs are bloody, I don't know what they've been fighting. Probably that carbonemus. So yeah, so large carnivores now pretty much always operate independently and will fight other carnivores that come into their territory. Let's get away from that waterfall because that's very loud. So yeah, the intent behind this was to make it a more gritty, realistic survival experience, more akin to Ark when it first came out, before they added in all of the high-level advanced stuff. If we just take a look at our engrams, I'll give myself creative mode so I can show you. So hide has been changed to be the first set of armour. They've also rejigged quite a lot of the requirements that you need for crafting certain things. And if we just scroll through, see like fur, so you need leather boots before you can even build fur ones, and they need pelt and wool. So they've rejigged a lot of the crafting requirements to make it a bit more tricky, and so you have to go and fetch different resources. So yeah, start with leather, and then you need metal, obsidian and wool for flak. And then you do have like a metal tier and all that sort of stuff. So I don't think they've taken out too many engrams, because you've still got fabricated shotties and all that kind of thing. But they've certainly made them quite a bit harder to achieve and rejigged where they are in the list. So yeah, all in all, this is pretty cool. I do like the idea of a more gritty survival experience, because I do remember when Ark first came out and you were first playing it and you just awoke naked on a beach and you couldn't even build that much stuff. The level cap was like 50 or 65, I don't even remember now, it was that long ago. And literally everything in the world was quite terrifying. It was, you know, difficult. It was very, very difficult to get started and get a roll on. And a lot of the stuff that Wildcard have put in over time have made things significantly easier. And I'm not complaining about that, I don't mind, but equally it is nice to get back to sort of like a very gritty experience. So I think this mod would suit really well on like a small server with your friends. The devs do say that it's best for PvE, like PvP would make things significantly harder to the point of it might not even be worth trying to play it. But you know, if you really fancy that extreme a challenge, then go for it. But yeah, a small dedicated server with some friends, just trying to survive in a vast and inhospitable world, and just feeling that pain that you get from comparing this to regular vanilla Ark, where you can get very easily set up and really running within a couple of hours or so, and now you're going to have to work really, really hard for it. I think is really quite cool. Unfortunately, I haven't seen any big carnivores to show you their changed behaviour. They've increased the targeting range of dinos significantly, so things aggro onto you from a lot further out. And they've also added in a mechanic where corpses will draw things from quite far away. So you might get, they've increased the amount of like hide and meat and stuff that you get from dinos, but there's always that chance if there's anything nasty lurking nearby and you've managed to take down a parasaur or something like that, the pack of raptors could come from much further away than you're expecting, because they want to steal that kill kind of thing, which I think is really funky. Just had to change the time of day there because it's getting quite dark. Let's see what nest this is. This is Dillo eggs. Okay, so I'll put a link to the Steam page, which obviously has a lot more information about it. This is just kind of bringing awareness and attention to what I think is a really cool mod. And if you fancy checking it out, you can go there. They've got lists of dinos that can be tamed and how the new mechanics work and everything. And I think they've done something with berries, I recall reading, like different berries give you different things now, which I think is something Ark always should have had, to be honest, other than just the standard Medjos are better for taming kind of thing. So now different berries actually have different effects when you eat them. There's a Quetz. Whoa! Angry Quetz. See? Aggro. Increased aggro. Yeah, so all in all, I think this mod is pretty cool. If I ever have the time or the chance, I will probably do a series on this one, if I can get some friends together, and we will really put ourselves through our survival paces. Maybe even add some stuff that limits the engrams you can get, so you're stuck with, like, I don't know, maybe long necks being the most powerful gun you can get, and flak being the best armor, that kind of thing. But we shall see, all that may come in time. So I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at this mod, and if you do play on it, let me know in the comments down below, because I think it's quite unique, to be honest. Most of the overhaul mods that aim to increase the challenge rating add in lots and lots of creatures that have, you know, health in the millions and damage number in the trillions or whatever. This one goes completely the opposite direction, and I kind of like that. So onwards with the third mod. Just for the record, this next mod is a little bit icky, I would say, and if you've got a weak stomach or, you know, don't like blood effects and gore, I'd look away now. Just skip to the end of the video, you'll see my face, I'm doing an outro. Okay, so this third mod raises questions. It was designed in order to prevent lagging on servers when people were harvesting Elvis with chainsaws, and I genuinely have no idea whether that is legitimately a thing. It could be, I don't play on servers very often, but it could also be that the mod designer just hates sheep. So I give you the sheep grinder by Revy. So here it is. It is a tall, imposing, somewhat bloody structure. Yeah, and if I just turn it on here, even before sheep are coming in, you get a welter of blood splattering everywhere. So this engram unlocks at level 0. It does take some high-end resources to make, however. It will only grind sheep, you can't grind people. And no other creatures either. And I have here some sheep, so let me just kill one. You kill one, you drag its body, and you climb all the way up the stairs on the Tower of Grossness. Drop the body there, hit grind, the body disappears, and you get all of this resource. So it is really, really effective. There's also an optional setting you can use to have it produce blood packs, which is very, very cool, especially if you play on Genesis and you want Bloodstalkers. But yeah, it's pretty grim, I won't lie. So let's just do that again. So it's got 1,000 slots in its inventory. Each sheep is doing about 100 to 200 things. Got loads of pelt, tons of mutton, more mutton than I can actually fit in my inventory. I tested the sheep earlier and I had to chuck it all out over there, and that took like 3 or 4 trips. So yeah, I mean, everyone's got their pet peeve creature, their creature they really don't like. So I mean, for me personally, it's Daedons. For a lot of people, it's Pegamastax or Ichthyornis or stupid raptors with their stupid jumping ability, or Microraptors even. Everyone hates Microraptors. But, you know, apparently sheep is also an option, and there you go, that one just maxed out the storage. So, depending on the level, I think depends on what you get, because I think that sheep was a higher level. But, look at all that mutton. And it doesn't have a reduction in spoil timer, I don't think. I think mutton usually takes 10 minutes to spoil, or it might be 5 minutes, I can't remember. But yeah, it does spoil very quickly, so you want a fridge somewhere nearby for when you're doing your industrial sheep murder. So yeah, basically the reason why I featured this is because I was kind of scrolling through the mod workshop looking for some mods, and I tried one but it didn't work out because it was a bit buggy. And then I was scrolling through again and I looked a bit further down than I usually do, and I saw this, and yeah, I couldn't not look. So if you fancy some industrial sheep grinding, and you know you're having lag issues on your server because of people grinding up sheep with chainsaws, which is apparently a thing, then look no further than the industrial sheep grinder. And I hope this helps you out, maybe, or maybe you just have it for fun, or maybe contact the dev and get it to grind up other things as well, in which case that, you know, that's on you, that's really on you. Okay, so I hope you really enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. I really do enjoy looking on the workshop and seeing all the cool and creative mods that are available for people to play with. Also, the occasional sheep grinder. If you enjoyed this video at any point, please hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, all that good stuff that really helps the channel out. And if you want to join me on Twitch on Tuesdays, Thursdays or Saturdays and play Primal Fear with me and chat mods and Ark in general, then I'll put a link to that in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope wherever you are in the world you have an absolutely great day.